here we have. So this was kind of, I pass these buildings all the time in Murray Hill, and I understood from looking at the plaque in front of the Mews. This is is that the Mews?
Sniffing Court.
So technically speaking, I always see this beautiful, beautiful Bowdoin Stable building with this bulldog. It's like, what's the bulldog? It's so cool. And I keep going by, and I heard that these were, I understood that they were Civil War stables, that the original stables here especially were Civil War stables, but the Bowdoin one was built in 1901. Right? So it's much more recent, and it actually had cars in it, but I don't think there's ever any vehicles in here. I think just people ended up living there. So in Turner Falls, Massachusetts, in around 2018, I had photographed a Civil War reenactment. So there was a Civil War reenactment, and even when I had done that, I was thinking, wow, this reminds me of the Murray Hill Stables a little bit. So what I did was, I felt like, why not bring some real horses into the picture instead of just sculptures of horses or these nice, they're beautiful, but can you imagine what it would be like to see a real horse in the stables? And so that's what really got me into doing that, to actually bringing the picture in. And I really liked that picture anyway of the horses and protecting that they were, so the question was, were these stables really had horses that went into battle or not? But one would assume they kind of did. And it was, again, we're talking about 1862 or something. This was built in the 1860s. So I thought that was kind of nice to bring it in. But it was, and here's when the question about Photoshop and brightening, that I remember very much that when this picture was kind of murky. The one on the right, it was kind of murky, whatever that means, and it was gray. So I bumped up the contrast and I brightened it so that I thought that you could really see all the bricks, and I thought it maybe did liven it up, and that's why this is overexposed a little bit from the light. And my biggest problem, and I did a slideshow where you could see it. My biggest problem, in a way, was when I did show this stable here, that the sky was up here. So the sky was up there, and what color was the sky? And when I'm looking at other buildings, I mean, that's always another, whether it's reflection or in behind, when you see the buildings, like, and this is a good example here, that this building has like all these like really boring buildings behind it. So you see all these non-landmark buildings that happen to be in Murray Hill that were built around, and how do you get not to be in the picture? And that's a big challenge. So I love this little sculpture, but it seems so far away that if I blow it up and then have the wall take the place of the sky, maybe that would work. Maybe that would work, and gave me a good position to bring the horses in, I thought, so that the sky didn't get in the way. And then one of the most beautiful parts of this whole presentation, one of the most beautiful parts of this section of these Civil War stables was this sculpture of the horse up here. Because if you look at the sculpture of the horse, and it just looks so friendly and loving. The horse was so happy to be there, and so also I was talking about the interaction of different kinds of cameras and different kinds of ways to make the pictures. That actually I used a very high-end lens. Very, like, let's say a $2,000 lens to do the actual stables, and you can see it does have high resolution. You can see great detail in there, even the little bicycle is down here. But that this picture I love that the horse was done with an iPhone. So it's a combination of using a cell phone, but doing digital images versus like a fancy camera. And like the camera, the lens, this was like a $3,000 lens that did this picture from a distance. And so it's an interesting combination. And I wanted to make sure that, again, I blew up the plaque. Can I call that a plaque too? Or is that also a...
That's a plaque. That's a plaque. Yeah, New York City. That's not a cultural.
Yeah, so the point is that you could see the small and big and the small and big, so that's another theme that's going on in there, really. And so that's do you have any questions about that one?
I have a remark, you know, that you were pointing out that horse that you made larger instead of taking up the space. And that's a sculptor's studio, Malvina Hoffman, I don't know if you know that. That was her studio, and that was probably the sculpture she did. She was noted for sculptures of animals.
Bas relief, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
She lived there until about 1960 when she died.
Wow, so into all the details, you could like write a nice little, you know, little.
So that horse is not because it was the, you know, where the stables were, it was because it was their studio.
In other words, it was incidental.
Former stable that they made into a studio.
Really, that's
Yeah.
interesting. That's very interesting. Trying to figure out, and I was also trying to figure out what the HG means on this building, which I.
Oh, you
Well,
know what?
Henry
Hold on.
George.
Oh, excuse
Well, it's
me.
Henry
It's
George.
because the Henry George School of Philosophy.
Oh, really? That sounds.
They've been there for a while.
Yeah.
Because I was very tempted. I was very tempted to get rid of it completely, and then I thought white wouldn't be good. I'd probably turn it into a gray tone, like in a perfect world. But
Yeah. The reason for the bulldog that it took me a while to find out, I thought it was because he went to Yale, but no. The bulldog that's the kind of dog the firemen used.
oh, the bulldog was a.
Wow.
To accompany them and guard the equipment.
Really?
Before
Before the Dalmatian, it was a bulldog.
Well, I don't know about Bowdoin, but that's why.
Then that's what you said, fire.
It was like they needed some guarding.
No, but that's so
garments.
interesting.
No, that's
I don't know about
definitely
Dalmatians,
strange.
but
I had no
No,
idea.
Dalmatian are fire.
I know, maybe they, some people
So
use
Paula,
them.
it was a firehouse?
Was it firehouse?
At
Yeah,
some point?
definitely, yeah.
It was a firehouse?
Yeah, so I was just being
Well,
facetious.
yeah, this was, do you know, Lori? Was this
No,
built
I
as a
don't.
state?
No, 'cause I understood
It was
that-
built as a stable.
It was a fancy schmancy garage for.
No, it was built as a
Stable.
stable. Apparently,
It says stable right on it.
Yeah.
there's tile, the original, like, tile from the stables there, and you could see the hoof, like how the
really?
horses kicked back on the
Wow.
walls, is what I've heard.
So
Yes.
did it become
Well,
a
that's pretty-
firehouse after a while?
I don't
And
think
then
it
it
was
was
ever a firehouse. This is what I read.
Oh, well, maybe I'm mixed up. Anyway, but that's what I read, that the
The
bulldogs
firehouse
were
was across the
used.
street, I think. There's one across the street.
Oh, well, okay,
It's
to
a
be continued.
fantastic, the way you've combined.
Well, I
these
appreciate that it got
things.
honorary mention because it was kind of unusual.
No,
I
it's a
suppose.
very
Yes.
favorite.
Wonderful.
But I appreciate that a lot,
Then I read it someplace. Oh, well.
and I'm sure the horses are
All
happy too.
right,
We still don't have it nailed down.
But thanks a lot for the honor. And I just, one thing I wanted to say, which is that when you think about what happened, I mean, technically what happened in these locations, and you really had the stories, and you're saying like there was a famous sculptor that worked back here, that actually lived there, and had nothing kind of to do with the stables necessarily, that there's stories to go with every collage. And that one thing I didn't mention when I was talking about the Morgan Library is that I've been to so many events at the Morgan Library. They had a Bob Dylan exhibit, right?
Yes.
They had a Woody Guthrie exhibit. They had all these different exhibits. So I found all these images. And I actually got to see Patti Smith. You ever heard of Patti Smith?
yeah.
Patti Smith played she did a show at the Morgan Library
Wow.
over there. And I got pictures of me and Patti Smith together, and I said, well, am I going to put that in the collage? And then I found a beautiful, beautiful poster with John Lennon, and it was some poster that had been was in an exhibition at the Morgan Library. Was I going to put that in? And I said, I can put this in. I can put, literally hundreds of things that happened at the library, but they weren't architectural, but they were conceptual. And so, which is it? So writing about it, maybe I've gotten to the point where I'm thinking, well, I'd like to do I wanted to do a book, technically a book, to solidify. I was going to register the copyright for the pictures in the book. And now I'm thinking the book, maybe it's more than pictures. Maybe there should be a chapter in each one about all these stories.
Yes.
It'd be really kind of nice.
Also, the singing group, The Doors, which I think
Oh,
they did their album cover right in the center of the court of
Did you know
Court.
that? It's very
Yes.
connected
Did you
to
know
the
that?
South.
Yeah.
What's that?
The
Just
Doors.
one of the Doors album.
It's a rock and roll.
Remember the Doors
rock and
from
roll
the 60s?
Do you know the photographer who did that? No, I just seen.
You can Google it and it'll be right
I
there.
can see the album cover. Yeah, I can see the album
But I don't
cover.
think the artists ever showed up, right? They had to hire some models to
I don't know, when you say that, it reminds me of the Doors, but that's a whole nother. Well, thanks a lot.
But
thanks a
I
lot.
want to say Patti Smith's horses, they're just celebrating the 50th
The
anniversary
right.
of horses.
That's
It's
great.
November
Yeah,
10th,
yeah, it's so perfect.
1975.
That's wonderful.
Oh, kill me now.
Lori, what is this?
Patti Smith's
Her famous
great
song.
album of
Yeah, that was,
horses
she came out with a new book.
was released November 10th, 1975. It was 50 years ago.
Unbelievable.
50th anniversary of that album, and she's
Oh, of the album.
of the album called Horses.
Yeah, I'll have to feature that in
David
the
Remnick
chapter
did a
about
little interview
the
with
Morgan
her.
Library. Really.
Terry Gross did.
That's
It's
great.
a whole big thing about the 50th anniversary of Horses, which was one of my. When that album came out, I just couldn't even believe it.
You must have been 19.
Yes, I was about 19. Yeah, I was about that age.
Wow, that's incredible.
I didn't know about
Yeah, I got to see her a couple of times, but when she played, it was like we went to the Morgan. I don't know if you've ever been there Friday night to the
yes,
Morgan
yes.
Library, where you can go in for free anyway,
Yeah.
and they have music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to hear the music, and all of a sudden, and you know, they're really good. They have a guitar player and a drummer, and we went to see the music, and all of a sudden they packed up and they're leaving.
No, but particularly because we brought friends from Chicago. And so we have to go to the Morgan because,
Yeah.
you know,
So
we're
why
going
did
for
they
a
do
drink.
that?
Again,
So-
Yeah,
so-
but the point is, and there's always music, they
Yeah.
always have, you know, jazz
Yes,
combo.
jazz combo.
And as we told them and lured them in, the jazz combo was
So
packing
they're
up to
leaving. And
So
then-
we got embarrassed and
So-
apologized.
Then-
Wait. Then somebody like walks by and my friend says, "Who's that guy?" And my other friend says, "I don't know. That guy looks awful lot like Patti Smith." And it was Patti Smith.
So I noticed that Patti Smith was walking into the building.
At the Morgan Library?
Yes.
Oh,
And
So,
your
friends were leaving
celebrating.
So
Exactly.
the regular,
Something actually
Let the guy talk.
Yeah.
Let the guy talk. Thank
so
you.
the regular musicians left,
Okay, the story.
and Patti Smith was there because there was an excellent exhibition about animals that were like the dodo bird, whatever it was, animals that were discontinued. They don't come to.
Okay, so it is, yeah.
So there were these pages of extinct animals, and one of Patti Smith's the songs that she sings now is about that. And so she insisted on coming in and playing 3 songs because it's open.
And they didn't
so-
publicize it. She just
No, it was a sudden thing. And here I am,
Just like a couple months.
and I have to say
What's her first
that
name?
when she came in,
Phil,
and she finished her set, and I got a video, I can show you of the songs. It was August 12th, 2024, but who remembers? That I told her, I said, I saw you open for the Grateful Dead in 1979, right?
Wow.
And she went, Jerry lives on. It was just a beautiful moment. But in any case, thank you so much. But it's going to be in the chapter. We're definitely going to show some Patti Smith pictures in the Morgan chapter.
Good. And Bob Dylan too.
And well, that's another story. Let's see.
So should we go?